Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, Candy. Hey, Tracy Lynn. Hey, Isla. Thank you, Tracy. Hey, Ernestine. Hey, Janae, Chandra, Crazy Homebody Girl, Loretta. Okay, listen, y'all. Okay, so at first I was gonna do 2 hours, ready to love. And child, what's the foolishness we like on Wednesdays? And Married at First Sight, but I'm not feeling too well, y'all. Okay, honey, I don't know if it's all these reviews. I don't know what's going on. But child, I'm not feeling all that great. So we're gonna break it down into 1 hour and we're going to do Married at First Sight and Ready to Love as well. Hey everybody. Hey AKA. Hey 713. Hey Janae. Hey Bree. Child, we gonna get into it, okay? Because baby, everybody was acting up this week. When they acting up? I said, "Oh no, ma'am, honey, done acted up so much, got my stomach upset." Child, I said, "Oh no, ma'am." Everybody was acting like something this week. Thank you, 713. I am really not child. I mean, I feel terrible. Okay. But y'all know we still gonna get into it, okay? Even though I feel bad, we still gonna get into it. All right, I'm gonna wait for a few more people. It's 42 of you. Let me see. Listen, Janae, you ain't said nothing. Girl, I already got the ginger ale, okay? Got my Canada Dry sitting right next to me. Hey, Jazzy. Hey, Nika B. Hey, Kendall. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that y'all enjoy. Look, somebody said to me, because I did the growing up hip hop review, they said, does our opinion not count? Listen, everybody's opinion counts. I'm trying to review the whole TV listings, okay? Every single channel that's got a show on it, I'm trying to review it. So if I didn't get to your show that you wanted me to review, trust me, I have heard you. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to speak my speech on it. And we're going to get into it when we get into it. Don't think I forgot, okay? Because, see, I really wasn't going to do Black Ink Crew this week because I was really busy. But then, I had notes on it and everything, and I felt how I felt. But then I was like, you know what? I don't really have time for Black Ink Crew. But then I went over to Instagram and one specific person asked me, they said, hey, what about Black Ink Crew? And I'm like, oh, okay. I just don't want to let y'all down. So listen, if I don't get to it right away, we gonna get into it. I'm hoping y'all not like, oh my God, this girl done uploaded another video. Girl, if you don't stop interrupting me, because I be uploading videos all day long. Okay. Hey, JB. Hey, Leah's Modern Life. Hey, Darlene. Okay, y'all, it's 105. Child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Okay, so first we are going to start out with Married at First Sight. Honey, let's get into this foolishness, okay? Because, they was acting a fool all up and through. Okay, so we're going to start out with Chris and Paige. Y'all know. Hey, Deja. I just screamed from happiness when Jacob shouted you out on his IG live. Yes, honey, listen. Before we get into Chris and Paige acting a fool all up and through, honey, because y'all know I got something to say about that. So I'm just minding my business, okay? Trying to get to the review of it all. Now, I know I told a few of you on my live that I was going to be interviewing someone from Married at First Sight, right? I know I told y'all about that. So I'm just minding my business, and then I get a tag that another YouTuber had mentioned that Jacob said that he watches my reviews. So I was like, oh my gosh, Jacob, I always give Jacob my little shout out, my little Jacob joke of the day. And so I'm looking, Jacob did in fact DM me. And he was just like, Misha, I'm one of your biggest fans. And now I call Haley a old flat face heifer. And I'm just like, no, first he said I call Haley a heifer. And I said, Jacob, if you gonna say it, you got to get it right, honey. Not just a heifer. She's an old flat face heifer. And he sent back a whole bunch of crying, laughing emojis. And he's just like, you are so freaking hilarious. It's like you rip in on everybody. And I just love it. So Jacob is actually a really nice guy. And baby, I got a whole bunch of tea. And y'all know I'm going to give it to you, honey. But we're going to get into it as we get into it. But I had to let him know it's not just heifer. It's flat face heifer. It ain't that X. It's that X, honey. It's the way you say things over here on the Opinionated channel. Okay, y'all know I do it, honey. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. So okay, so first we're gonna be talking about Chris and Paige because you know how they like to act the fool. Okay. And I know all of y'all saw as Chris got up with his little bitty ankles, honey, looking like he walking on stilts, to run up out of there in that tight suit, knowing he ain't gonna bust a grape. Okay, Pastor the White and took that hair piece off, honey, and went to work. A mess. Child, I'm like, I know. What you say? He need a sister? Child, they say Jacob acting up over there though, but we talked about it. He was acting up over there on the Instagram, but we talked about it and now we all good because I had to tell him now, Jacob, now, honey, my people are a little upset with you. So we're gonna have to get it together or leave it alone. And he explained himself and we talked it out, honey, as Haley should have, okay? Because if you talk to the man, he'll be all right. We talked it out and now we back friends again, okay? Thank you for the super chat, Stush. Thank you so much. And the super sticker. Okay, so let's get into Chris and Paige. Okay, so what y'all got to say? Because y'all know I'm a feed off of whatever y'all say. Now I have my opinions of these two. Okay. Now y'all see this picture up here on this screen? Look at the color coordination of it all. Honey, they ain't fooling me. I said not the tie matching the dress. Honey, I'm not finna play with him or her. Chris and them ankles and them brooches. Exactly, beautifully T. I was looking at that. I said, not them little bitty ankles, because when he got up, I didn't realize them ankles was that small, okay? So he had kind of, he started scooting forward, and I'm like, oh, Lord. Paige about to stand up and try to stand in front of him, honey, and put that thing and pass it the white face. Girl, sit down, honey. That thing is thanging back there. So, she stood up or whatever. And then I saw him walking to the back, and I'm like, look at those little bit old ankles. Okay. Oh, mess. Hey, Chloe. Chloe said, yes, I knew they were matching. Exact. They was matching, girl. I looked at them. I said, they think they slick. Baby, I noticed everything. And then last week they were matching too when they had on all black, like the Omen. I said, okay, y'all matching again. Let me find out y'all still hanging around. Talking about they went to counseling. Child, we need counseling. As a matter of fact, us as America, after watching Married at First Sight, we need Dr. P and them to give us a virtual counseling session. Honey, we had to go through this mess for 17 weeks. Chris went to counseling with Paige just so he could say he did it at the reunion. He didn't want to reconcile at all. Exactly, Fair Hope 2006. Child trying to pull. Yeah, I called her mom, her dad, and her stepdad. Boy, shit. Boy, if you don't hush and then listen. So I know y'all saw how he was running and ranting and raving all up and through that apartment, right? Hollering so loud, the people done got called. Honey, they done called the laws on him. Honey, he's hollering all up and through to my hands, they are registered offenders. Boy, if you don't be quiet, then he said, because I check my eighth grade record. I am not about to find out what you did in the 8th grade, boy. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand. He is ignorant. Not his 8th grade record, y'all. What we gonna do with that information? Huh? What are we gonna do with that? Not your 8th grade record. You know what, Chris Williams II, honey, I'm not about to play with you. Look, she said the same thing as me. Chris Williams II, honey, he was going back and forth in that apartment. I said, oh, child, I am really scared. And then he said, he did say something that made me kind of feel bad because I am an empath. He said, I know y'all recording this, and I know y'all probably gonna tell people, and I know I'm probably gonna get in trouble. I said, oh, child. Somebody come get him, honey. Oh, my goodness. Child, they done let him loose, honey. It's like they done let one of the animals at the zoo out, okay? I didn't even notice the matching tie and dress. Chris acts like a 3-year-old, honey, and dressed like one, too. Is that a handkerchief, or what is that on that jacket? Child, it just ain't no telling. I was like, he done put on this zoot suit and came out here and sat up next to Paige, and honey, she's sitting there looking cute, okay? I like the dress. The makeup was a little ashy, but she's sitting up there looking proud to sit next to him. To my, we're not together because Chris Williams II is immature. Shut up with that snap, crackle, and pop voice. Boy, gone, honey. So because he was a jackass in middle, y'all are so crazy. Y'all are so crazy. He was a jackass in middle school. We're supposed to be nervous today, Crat Lady on 3. Today. Let me tell y'all something. Those hands are registered weapons. You better ask them from 1992 on. It's been registered after he had that fight in the cafeteria, honey. It probably was a food fight, and they probably was throwing jello. Boy, you ain't threw no hands, honey. You ain't fooling me. So everybody gone back and look at his record or whatever you trying to do. And child, when he said 8th grade, do y'all understand how much I hollered? Because y'all already know I'm goofy. So the fact that he said, y'all better check my 8th grade record, when I tell you I ran around my whole house, child, like I was running around the wall of Jericho, honey, I was hollering and screaming and laughing all up and through. I said, not the 8th grade. Boy, if you don't go on, honey. What was the point of making Paige rewatch them videos of him calling her unattractive? I thought Lifetime was tacky for that, Allison. Yes. Can I get an amen? I did too. And this is the thing I did hear some people say, well, Paige needed to see it because she needed to wake up. She ain't gonna wake up, honey. She's in hibernation. There's no waking up, honey. There's no waking up. There's no poking the bear. It ain't happening. So showing her this image and this footage of him basically calling her ugly, honey, is not gonna make a difference. And I just look, just it's just the way that she looked when they showed it to her. She completely shrank. She just, shriveled up in her seat. And I was just like, oh man, like I don't ever really want to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? I understand, I don't know why she's so attached to Chris, honey. I guess the soul tie thing is real because they had sex on the honeymoon. So now she's just completely attached to him or what have you. But I also feel like, we've all been a page every now and again, honey. So you just had this one that you be chasing after for no apparent reason. Child, you probably don't even have socks that match, honey. Sleep on his mama flow at night, honey. Ain't got no job. You got to drop him off at the store, honey. All kind of stuff. But you still go back over there. So I felt kind of bad for her in that moment because why would you show this woman this? And then Kevin was like, so Paige, how do you feel about that? Like she was gonna say, oh, it's no problem. She was like, I'm devastated. I was like, oh my gosh, honey, I don't even really want to make fun of on my review now, but I got to do it, honey. We got to speak our speech. I mean, it just got to be done. So I felt bad for her though. I think Lifetime was petty and wrong for replaying that clip of her. I do too, Jessica. I don't think that they should have replayed that. That's just my honest opinion. I was like, I don't appreciate that. Paige held back heavy tears after watching that clip. Exactly, Jazzy. That's how I felt. And I said, man, why are y'all treating her this way? Like, I understand, everybody's like, wake up and I want to slap her, honey. We glad she got rid of that wig. The wig thing, that's funny. That's lighthearted, honey. Get you a wig with a part, and not that one that looked like it was wet, but get you a good wig. And now the lashes was a little heavy on this one. That's light stuff. You could just say something like, girl, your wig ain't straight. Straighten the wig, honey. We good. But when you start showing a person a clip of a child, I'm gonna call this boy a cuss word, child. Look, let me try to censor myself, honey. When you show her a clip of this asinine buffoon sitting there calling her ugly in no uncertain terms, that ain't called for. Okay, and then you have to sit there next to him. Like I said on my review, honey, I would have looked at Kevin and I would have said, do I have to sit here because of all the white kings and Hispanic kings and Asian kings? Y'all give me Chris? Child, I would have gave it right back to him. I just couldn't believe that. I'm like, boy, you looking how you looking. If you don't shut up. She is a great looking young lady based on the pic. Never saw the show. Oh, you've never seen the JB? Child, you ain't missed nothing but high blood pressure, honey. We all got to get checked for hypertension, okay? So I'm just saying. Hey, J-Dub. Paige been hibernating the whole season because of completely sleep. Honey, just completely sleep. I knew something was wrong with her when she didn't run a rake through that head when she went down to that lobby looking for Chris when he was supposed to be coming back with bacon and eggs. Y'all remember, honey, we had that fake panic attack. I knew someone right then. Child, she been in a daze and a trance ever since. Child, I'm not finna play. Con, I'm done with you. I've been a page before, but I'd be darned if I play that on TV. Beautifully T, thank you for the super chat, and you are so right about that. Now, child, I can't say I ain't never been there, but I sure ain't finna get on TV. And if I was on TV acting a fool running up and down the highway, you best believe that wig gonna be sitting. Honey, I'm gonna have to put my makeup on before we do anything. They would probably be like, Misha, we're gonna need you on set. Oh, honey, I gotta let my powder sit. Give me about 2 more minutes, okay? Okay, give me 2 more minutes because I ain't coming out with my hair looking like this. Paige needs to wake up. I think they showed it to show he isn't no good, and this is the person you want to keep going back to. Yes, money. I agree. I think they did show it for that reason, but it's like, come on, cut us some slack. We as the viewers, we've already seen it. And if we felt some kind of way, how do you think she felt. You know what I'm saying? Just like, just as a woman and as a person in general, I just didn't like that. I felt embarrassed. Okay. And I know he felt embarrassed. And then he gonna have enough nerve to hold his head down. No, Cletus, hold your head up, Cletus. You bad. You said it. So now you scared of it? You said it. Child, sitting up there acting like you don't know what's going on. Now hold your head down now. I was like, I could just run through this TV and slap his face. But baby, he let it be known on that little rant he had the other day that baby, all the bloggers can get it. He ain't never scared. Anybody that want the smoke, he said whatever city that we are in, he want the smoke. So at first I was gonna try to be nice, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know what, I ain't finna say nothing because clearly he needs some kind of medication and or a straight jacket. But since you want the smoke, then come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. If this is what you want, ain't nobody worried about you, Christopher. Oh, boy, gone. It was disgusting to me that they showed her that clip. It was straight disgusting, Lexi. I wouldn't have even filmed with him. Look at him, talk to him, nothing. I would pay him complete dust. Paige handled herself too well for me, honey, too well. And then when Kevin was like, Paige, can you calm Chris down? Get in between them, Paige. I would have said, what the hell? I'm not about to get up and get in between these men. Child, Because Chris looked like the type that'll knock you down. You know how when the men get in the middle of the fight and you know it's getting real good, honey, they don't care what's going on. They will push you all the way to the floor. But Chris looked like he'll push her to the floor and do all kind of stuff, honey. Finna have one of my braids coming out in the front. Child, we already had an episode with the braids. Okay, so let's just leave that alone, child. No ma'am. He can beat nobody. I just love y'all, man. Y'all are so crazy. Nobody, okay? I ain't gonna hurt a fly. Chris just want to fight so the person can hit him first. He can try to sue to get some money. I said the same thing, CB. He looked like a sewer. Child. I'm like, boy, ain't nobody got time to be playing with you. So you better ask him because I fight. Oh my God. Well, all this talking, honey, the hands could have been thrown by now. Child, I'm not gonna do too much talking. It's like I'm a boop, and then you're gone, honey. Child. Anyway, I just found it funny how Paige and her had all her pumpkins all up in Pastor Dwight's face, trying to calm Chris. Baby, that thing was sitting up in the back, and Paige positioned herself ever so. I said, oh, she don't realize what she doing. And Pastor Dwight, now this is my thing now. Pastor Dwight now, honey, I'm watching you. You ain't fooling me. Because when you could have got up from that view, okay? Because if it were me, and I was a man of the cloth, and I saw Paige thanging in my face, I would have said, you know what? Let me rise up. Let me get up so that I can remove myself from the thangation. Not Pastor Dwight. He gonna try to look around it a little bit, talking about some, what you say, what you not gonna do. Boy, if you don't get up from behind that girl's behind, child, you ain't fooling me, honey. I know what you're trying to do. Trying to act like look, the editors were wrong for that shot. Them some petty producers. Do you hear me? Honey, they knew what they were doing. Yes, those biscuits were all at Pastor Dwight's eye level, and he ain't moved, Credit Lady. Didn't move. And if Chris was all the way at the parking lot in his Lexus with the engine started up, Pastor Dwight still sitting behind Paige. Talking about, what you not gonna do? What you not gonna do? What you not gonna do is sit behind this man, this woman, and you got a whole wife. Boy, get up. So try to act like you ain't trying to see it. Boy, whatever. He definitely was looking from the side. Baby, that side eye, honey, he was looking at that thing, honey. If we could see it, I know he could see it. Yeah, he was side-eyeing it. Pastor Dwight, you ain't fooling us. What you not going to do is make me stop looking at this thing. Exactly, 713 Rose. Child, I was like, listen, Pastor Dwight, I'm not about to play with you, child. You ain't talking about nothing either. Lifetime was right for saying, well, we gonna mend it today. Please welcome Pastor Dwight. When they said, CB, let me tell you something. Okay, because I love a good Jerry Springer ambush. When Pastor Dwight showed up on the scene, I said, oh my God. I came back right in time because, I had just stepped out to get my Coca-Cola. And I came back in and I saw that Pastor Dwight had stepped on the scene. I said, oh my goodness, child, it's finna get good. Everybody be quiet, honey. Somebody had texted me. I'm like, please don't text me, honey. It's finna get good. Child, and I just saw Chris's throat closing up because that shirt and that tie was already a little snug. So I was like, oh, Chris' throat about to close up, honey. Everybody be quiet. Child, the whole house had to be quiet. Everybody hush, honey, it's going down. Child, Pastor Dwight said 2 words. You are not my spiritual covering. And I'm like, oh, Lord, child, the girls is hollering. I'm like, not the suits fighting. Child, when I seen both of them in those blue suits and Pastor Dwight done borrowed his brooch, y'all might still be friends too, honey. This is all a facade. Because where you get that brooch from, huh, bruh? Because we ain't see no brooch too. We seen it on Chris. Now we see this brooch on you. Just like Paige and him trying to act like they ain't together, but now we see they color coordinate. Honey, y'all ain't fooling us. It is 317 of you on here. Thank you so much for joining me for this live. I really appreciate it. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I appreciate all of you for actually showing up. Honey, to hear me speak my speech, please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Okay? So you can become a part of the opinionated family. Matching suits, Chris. I was like, child, what is happening? Thank you, Joseph, for the super chat. Chris was like, meet me in the trap. It's going down. Not his young jock, honey. He was, well, they are in the A, honey. Shout out to young jock. Child, no, he don't know nothing about meeting nowhere. I'm like, not the parking lot. Boy, y'all remember when people used to fight at school? They used to be like, they fighting, and everybody run out to the parking lot after school because you know it's somebody finna get whooped, honey. That's Chris. Child falling all in the ditch and everything else, honey, getting beat all the way up. Somebody, I had them hands though. I had them though. No, you didn't. You been mollywopped. Now pick your suit up, honey, and get your tires over there hanging next to them tires. Get your tires. I mean, get your suit, honey. Get it off the ground. They used to do dirt together. That's why Chris says that's not his covering. Listen, Kendall, and also on that little rant he did, he said, I know so much dirt on you. And let me tell you something. My mind automatically goes to mess. Okay. I got a messy mind. And when he said I got so much dirt on you, I'm like, let me find out if some other women up and through, allegedly. Because normally when men say that, that's what they are referring to. Because other than that, say it. Speak your speech, Chris. Speak your speech. If you're going to say something, then say it. Child, and probably ain't got nothing on him, honey. Every other couples were too fake at this reunion. Everybody backtracked on everything. Thank you for saying that, Jazzy. Let's transition into some others. Okay. Let's talk about Ryan and Clara. Let me see if I can find a photograph of Ryan and Clara, honey, because you know that child acting like how they acting. I'm just like, okay, let's see what we can do. So Ryan and Clara, we know that Kevin had to coerce Ryan into saying I love you. Child, that was just ridiculous. I'm like, and then he said, do you love her? He said, I think I do. I think I do. What? I was like, okay, I don't have time for this. Clara wearing his platinum blonde, and then he's sitting here lying. He got his mustache turned up, and child, that's the only thing turning up, okay? Is that mustache, because it sure ain't nothing else, honey. That's what happens when you listen to Kitten Hills. Thinking a cheap suit makes you high value. Baby, Chris be on that on Kevin Samuels, honey. She be on him. But not a vow renewal with no I love you. Child, what they gonna say at the altar? Thanks. Child, I was thinking the same thing. I said, how you gonna have a vow renewal with no vows? Honey, ain't nothing happening. Just up there, I ain't never said I love you. Probably still haven't gone to Pound Town. And you know what was really making me mad? Now listen to me. We've been invested for 18 weeks. This is what really was making me mad, honey. I don't really care about him saying I love you. This is what made me upset. We have invested 18 weeks in listening to Clara's nonsense about no goods being given. And y'all gonna sit up here and try to play coy when we want to know if y'all went to Pound Town or not. So we watched the movie, right? Yeah, because remember we went to sleep and I want to run through that. Child, let me tell you something. I want to run through that screen and say, don't play with me, Clara. I will wrap these little extensions around my hand. Girl, did you get some or not? Honey, is he dropping them draws, or you still japping them jaws? Which one is it? Honey, trying to act like you don't want to tell us what's happening. They really made me mad. I said, what the? Ryan is the guy from Mortal Kombat that sucks your soul if you lose a fight. Mira, finish him, honey. Fatality. Ryan wins. Honey, I used to play all them games, child, with my brother. He used to force me to. 18 weeks, I can never get back. Darlene, okay. But you know what? The bright side of the 18 weeks was that I got to know all of you. We have all grown close as a Married at First Sight family with all the foolishness, okay? And now, hopefully, Houston will offer us an actual Married at First Sight season. But we've become like a little dysfunctional, opinionated family. And I love it. Child, I'm so happy I got to share this time with you all. When Kevin asked, "Have you consummated your marriage?" Clara already gave it away when she said, "Maybe we will tonight." She sure did say that. Devil's advocate, she sure did say that. And I said, "Did she say maybe we will tonight?" Honey, okay, child. And then he tried to play it off by saying, "We watched a movie." Honey, we know all these effects, okay? Clara clearly stated that ain't nothing happening. It still ain't going down. But she is going down on her knees, though, allegedly. What does Paige have on a look-alike dress of Mercedes? Girl, bye. The man called, called her ugly all throughout the show. I'm glad she heard with her own two ears. Paige is better looking than Chris. Child, a rock is better looking than Chris. A dog is better looking than Chris. Honey, a brown paper bag is better looking than Chris. Child, it don't take much. A mess. We are definitely a dysfunctional, opinionated family. Yes, we are, honey. Speaking our speech. Trying to figure out if we can get Chris back over there to that ex, honey, because we really don't need him, child. This process no longer serves us. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm afraid Clara is losing herself being with Ryan. Her whole personality is watered down. Nika, yes, very watered down. It's like Kool-Aid with no sugar in it. It's just water and food coloring. Cause I'm looking at her, and then when they did the clip, when they did the clip with all the ladies there, and Clara was also, she was just sitting up asking all kinds of questions. She had such a beautiful glow about her. She was extra happy. Hey, April. She was extra happy. And hey, Gary, I forgot to say hey to you. And everything. And then we look back now, and it's like she's sitting very still, trying to say all the right things, making sure she doesn't say anything that's offensive to Ryan, making sure that she sits up straight and holds her shoulders back like, She is definitely a shell of her former self. That is for sure. Because I was looking like, child, Clara, if you hit, no, child, listen, if you need help, please. But no, she's not going to say that because they're a 10 out of 10. They couldn't have done any better. The experts did a wonderful job. Child, Clara just as crazy as them extensions she was wearing, honey. I ain't got time to play with her. I saw Eric and Virginia and Ryan and Clara at the Braves game last night. Allie, did you? Child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Did you? Were they holding hands? Did it look like they liked each other? Was Eric drunk? Was Virginia drunk? Did Ryan have Clara sitting next to him, or was he sitting next to Eric? Child, did Ryan still have that mustache? Oh, I got so many questions. How were they looking in real life? Did Virginia look like she had detox? Was her skin, a little bit more glowy? Like, what was happening? Child, please put it in the chat. Officiant. Clara, do you take Ryan again as your husband? Clara, sure. These two. Listen, not did y'all notice that the other couples were saying for sure, for sure? Everybody was saying it. I said, why is everybody saying sure every 5 minutes? Y'all about to get on my nerves. I don't want to keep hearing that. Saying sure every 2 seconds. Hey, Misha, I was listening to one of the YouTubes or on the reunion day, and Jacob told her that he loves your page and her page, which she tried to say she didn't know who you were. I spoke my speech. Thank you, T. Patrice. Thank you. Actually, I was telling them that Jacob had DM'd me, and we talked about some things, honey, and I was trying to get all the tea, So let me just give y'all a little brief synopsis of what all was being said, okay? Because baby Jacob said he don't love them hoes, okay? Jacob said he could not be bothered. They done got on his nerves, okay, his nervous system, and he does not want to be bothered. Okay, so wait a minute. He had spoke about, okay. He said he frustrated with Haley's lies. Okay, it is not what we think. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, honey, because Haley was all the way gone. She was never inside the apartment. It was all for show. Okay. And Dr. P saw straight through her bush. Okay. So, I mean, and then some other stuff, but he told me I can't disclose it just yet because, part two of the reunion has to air first. So after part two of the reunion, I can speak my speech a little more. But, honey, he was just basically telling me a little bit of, some things I know that y'all gonna want to know. And I'm just like, oh, and he did say that he really loves the subscribers over on this channel. We always support him. And his dad watches all my reviews, even the ones that are not married at first sight. His daddy is my number one fan, and he always sends Jacob the alerts, like, Jacob, we got to go over here and listen. I actually appreciate them subscribing and listening to my review, because y'all listen to me. People might have talked about Jacob in his 80s and how silly he is and his Jacob joke of the day. But at the same time, he's a genuine guy. I could tell just from our interaction with each other, us actually communicating. And, he liked me being me. He wasn't like, well, I can't believe you said this, or I can't believe you said that, honey. He was like, look, this is what you can use about Chris next week. This is what I need you to say about her this week. Like, he was good. He was down to earth. I loved it. I heard through the grapevine that Virginia was seen at a bar with another man, allegedly kissing. I don't know if it's true, but someone sent me the tea. We shall see. SK, honey, I wouldn't put it past her. And child, if that happens, oh Lord, Eric gonna lose his ever loving mind. Do you hear me? Baby, Eric is gonna be a mess. A full-on mess. J Dub said Jacob is not a great communicator. You know what? He actually is. Because when I communicate, listen, I might send one text, one DM. Jacob sends back 9 DMs. Honey, he's very communicative. He's got a little speech on him. He speaks his speech. Okay. I'm just saying. And another thing too, when I joked with him, and I was even joking with him through the DM. And I told him, Jacob, now, honey, them shorts on that one episode. Okay. I'm just saying. Them shorts wasn't shortened, honey. And he laughed it off. And, he explained himself, and then he said a little bit more. But he does communicate very well and very thoroughly. So I just can't wait for him to actually come on and be able to say his side of it and actually be able to speak freely, because I feel like he was kind of stifled in that whole thing. And I feel like they gave him a personality, put him in a box. As soon as they said the 80s, it's like that's all anybody could think of. Oh, the 80s, the 80s, the 80s. But, he told me, he said, look, I like the 80s. I like the 90s. Honey, he liked when Cash Money was taking over for the 99 and the 2000. I mean, he loved it. So, I mean, he's a nice guy. I think Haley saw Jacob getting so much love, so she used the reunion as another opportunity to an attempt to make him look bad. And child, y'all already know how I feel about that. I was like, okay, Haley, girl, all right, we got it. You just want to make us feel like that was the reason. That was not the reason, girl, honey. And like I said, you look like you laid there like a wet noodle. You look like you don't participate. I said what I said, and I ain't changing it. So, I mean, it takes two to tango. And yeah, he might have had a little Hennessy penis. Okay. So it might have been some things happening up and through. But at the same time, girl, be happy you got laid. Because if you ain't had a relationship in 7 years, I'm sure you wasn't getting bedded either. Honey, because don't nobody look at you and think, oh, I'm trying to get that tonight. Girl, gone, honey. Ain't nobody got time to play with you. Well, let's move forward. Let me find out Jacob was backing it. Backing it up for the 99 to 2000. Okay. Baby Jacob said, I ain't finna let these people worry me. He could not be bothered. She could have taken the high road, but she called it. Yes. And and then here go Clara. Don't say anything. Just be quiet, please. Don't say anything. Haley just smiling. Here go Virginia. Honey, when Virginia started giving sound advice, child, it's a whole mess. She was like, okay, well, just say, don't say anything at all. Not Haley. All I'm gonna say is yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Girl, shut up. I'm like, okay, honey, you are still unlikable. At first, I was like, you know what? Maybe I was too hard on Haley. You have a right to not like who you don't like. I still do think that. You do have a right. It was just her demeanor was so mean and rude. That's what, I don't know. It was just like she didn't even give him a chance. Like, at least try. I don't know. She rubs me the wrong way. You can always teach an old dog new tricks. Jacob was my favorite on the show, and if she really wanted to work, she would have made it work. Okay. Thank you, Gary. Drunky and Sucky need to hush. Not Sucky. Angela, I'm about to put you in a timeout. Girl, you are a mess. Not Sucky. But for real though, she could have taught him something new, and them two need to be quiet. And Clara definitely needs to stop piping up every time somebody references Paige's relationship. She acts like she is so much better. Clara, honey, quiet as it's kept or loud as it's kept, whichever one you want to do. You and Paige are the same person. It's just that Ryan allowed you to stay and put your stuff in the garage. Don't think we forgot that your crafting supplies is underneath his muffler behind his car in the garage. Okay. Girl, trying to act like your relationship's so great. I just wish she would have just, and I just, as soon as we saw Haley and Jacob together, we knew they weren't a match. And as soon as we saw Chris with Paige, we just knew. And you know what? As soon as we saw you, we knew you weren't going to get no D. Okay? I knew when he had that. I told y'all, if you've been following my reviews from the beginning, I said, Ryan got in the bed with a full-on ensemble, honey. He had a basketball outfit on. That's what you put on when you get ready to go play basketball with the boys. Not when you get ready to go lay down with your new wife. Honey, I knew then you wasn't getting none. Honey, and he got a dunk too. Honey, that thing be thinking too. Just like Paige. Child, I'm not finna play with y'all. Notice how Virginia was so happy about her room. She was so happy. She was like, and my cats are here. And the gang's all here. Honey, I was like, oh Lord, honey, they tearing up Eric's leather furniture. The cats probably tearing that furniture up. And also, I did like the fact that Virginia keep it real. When they asked Virginia, do you think that Eric is allergic to cats? She was like, no, especially since my cats were there for 3 weeks before he even sneezed. I'm like, exactly, Virginia, honey. We knew he was lying, child, because he wasn't allergic with that X, honey. I think Jacob was open to making things work with Haley, but it seemed like she was not interested in trying. She definitely wasn't doll face. She could really care less. She was like, I don't care nothing else. Like, look, the first time I interacted with Jacob, I thought maybe it could be something, but I don't even think she was initially attracted. Like as she was walking down the aisle, I think she pulled a Chris and looked at Jacob and said, of all the Caucasian kings, you bring me him. I really feel like she thought that in her mind, but she didn't want to say that. Okay, I'm just saying. Child. I like Ryan. It's a different narrative. Usually men are ready to sleep with anything. Okay, I like Ryan too, to an extent, but he is a little flat as a rock. And number two, the only reason why I'm saying that is because now you're married, the cameras are down, things are different. And I mean, how slow are you gonna move? You ain't even told the woman you love her yet. And it's been past 6 months. Like we're going into a year now. I mean, let's get into it if we're gonna get into it. But I do like the fact that he didn't want to initially just say, now this is the thing. It's a two-sided coin because I do appreciate the fact that he didn't tell her he loved her right away because I mean you don't love her yet. Like I'm still confused on Virginia and Eric saying that. Bree and Vincent, you don't love her yet. Oh, let's move over to Bree and Vincent. There's the transition. All right, so what did y'all think about Brianna and Vincent? Y'all see Vincent had a little hair, honey, had a little piece. Okay, a little hair piece. All right, I'm not only a client, I'm also the president of the hair club for men. I love it. Okay. Vincent had on a little suit, looked like he lost a little weight. Okay, let's get into it if we're gonna get into it. I'm like, okay, child. We see what you're trying to do. Anybody see the video with Joel? Okay, we about fire sign. We can't talk about it yet. We about to come right back to it. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna come right back to it. Let's just get through the couples. He was controlling the relationship, getting what he needed, and offering nothing. He sure was. I'm still mad at the braid cut. Hmm. So am I, crack lady. And just trying to figure out why on earth. And did you see that they didn't even mention that? They could have said, hey, the viewers want to know, what were you thinking when you cut Brianna's braid? And Brie, how did you feel about that? No, not them, because you know what? They're trying to create this narrative that Brianna and Vincent are the Amani and Woody of this season. See, they're trying to make it like there's one success story, but they ain't fooling me. There's no success stories to be had. So y'all can try to tie them up in a nice little bow if you want to, honey. It's like putting a bow on a bag of okay? It ain't happening. I don't think so, honey. I ain't got time to play with y'all. I think they need to stop comparing themselves to Woody and Amani. They are not Woody and Amani. And also, I mean, just be who you are. Just like what's the couple's name that was on Love is Blind? Baby, they blew up, honey, after that. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The beautiful couple. They seem like they are actually enjoying each other's company as a married couple. And so do Woody and Amani. But, I want them to be Bree and Vince, the one who talks like a baby and the one who acts like a baby. Honey, be who y'all are. Y'all ain't got time to play with y'all. All right, did we go through all the couples? Because we need to go on over to did I address everything y'all wanted to address? Let me just make sure before I move on. I thoroughly enjoyed Jacob on Mavs. I wish he had a better match. Haley was a mismatch. She is very shallow. Bernadette, very. Okay. A kiddie pool. Vincent said they're going to buy a condo in the DR. And I was like, no, Brianna is going to buy a condo in the DR. I know that's right. And somebody said to me in my comments, okay, listen, for all 454 of you who are watching this live or just stopping by, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, I want to say to you guys, because it's 457 of you now, from what I can see, I hope everyone is liked because this really helps me and the algorithm. Listen, when I do these reviews, it's just commentary. It's all jokes. Somebody who probably was Vincent himself put underneath my comments, you're saying he doesn't have a job. What's with you? Like, why don't you get off of Vincent's back before you get sued? Honey, what is he gonna inherit? This YouTube channel? Let's see him try it. Honey, go ahead. Feel free to take over. And exactly what is he suing me for? I can give my opinion all day long. That means you're going to have to go all the way through Instagram, on everybody else's Facebook forums, and everything else. Honey, we all thinking the same thing. Carvana. Child, let's move forward, child. I ain't got time to play with them. Misha, Chris was trying to steal the tea on how the show is edited. He was trying to spill the tea on how the show was edited, and he wasn't the only one. So I think Ryan and Clara, well, coasters say the certain things, oh, were coached to say certain things and not to say certain things. Really? You know what? Yeah, he did say that they had a conversation with him saying that, I mean, child, I'm trying to figure out what is he going to inherit? This YouTube channel, child? Boy, gone, honey. You can have this in my shoes, child. So anyway, so yeah, he was saying on his rant, I would call it a live, but I don't know what he was doing, child. He was losing his mind. He was saying that they asked him about having Pastor Dwight come on to, whatever to hash it out. And he was like, no, he had no idea Pastor Dwight was going to come. And then he just showed up. But my thing is this, boy, have you seen reality TV? It's all about the spin. Let me tell y'all something. Back in 2000, when did I get married? 2008, me and my then husband went on a court show. So this is back when I thought I wanted to be an actress. Okay, this is when I had auditioned for Real World and all kind of shows, and I would actually get casting sent to my email. Right. So they said they were coming out with this brand new court show. This when everything was really popping. When people first started coming out, your Judge Judy's and Judge Mathis telling everybody he a crackhead, they a crackhead, and all this kind of stuff. This when this first came out, and they approached us and said they were going to pay us $500 each to come onto the court show, put us into accommodations, and give us, a little stipend for the day, all this kind of good stuff. So I was like, cool, let's see what I was doing. They told us to come up with a story, saying that we wanted to sue each other and that we were getting a divorce in order to come onto the show to add a little judge to it. Okay. So I'm like, what? Not getting a divorce, honey. Can we just use the other part, but not the divorce part? So the lady negotiated with us for weeks and she was like, sure, you can just say that you're suing him. So I came up with the idea that I was suing him for a honeymoon. And the reason why I came up with that is because that deadbeat never took me on one. Okay. But let's get into it if we're going to get into it. So I said, okay, I'm going to sue him for a honeymoon. And she was like, well, how much do you think the honeymoon should be valued at? This is the producer that I'm talking to, back and forth on like a weekly basis. And I said, I'm just going to say that the honeymoon should have costed $3,000. Now, if the fake judge agreed that the honeymoon was worth $3,000, and they would give us the $3,000 and plus we would get our $500 for the day. Okay. So we get to LA. Child, I'm thinking child, you would have thought I was on the hills. Okay. Child, I got out of that limo because they sent a little car service for us or whatever. We end up in West Beverly Hills. We get there. They put us up in the hotel. The producer comes and knocks on the door as soon as we get there. I'm just telling y'all how this reality stuff work, okay? As soon as we get there, the producer came, knocked on the door. She immediately told me, I'm going to have to put you in a separate hotel room. And I said, why? And she was like, well, I want you to, really get a feel of not being with your husband because we want you guys to argue tomorrow. And I said, what? Really sell it. And so we were going through the motions of the court, which I was like kind of nervous, but y'all know I talk all day, honey, so speak my speech. We go in, I'm talking to them and everything, talking to the judge, and she's like, so what are you suing him for? And I was like, with my little crazy behind, sounding like Paige, talking about, this in the process no longer serves me. No, I'm just kidding. I was just playing, y'all. But I did say, I said, I'm suing him for a honeymoon, right? So she was like, okay, so why are you suing him for a honeymoon? I was like, why cook and clean and don't smell like onion rings? I mean, I'm just saying, honey. So I'm just trying to figure out why he ain't never took me on a honeymoon. Am I not judged enough? And then I started getting mad in real life, okay? Because I realized I had never really actually been on a honeymoon and he ain't cared nothing about it, okay? So I look over to him and he wondering why I'm getting real mad when I was supposed to be fake mad. And I'm like, I'm real mad because I really ain't been on no honeymoon. And now I'm up here on TV and people I know gonna see me and say, is that Misha? Hey, wait a minute. Ain't that Randy's sister? So then I'm like, well, look, We out here, we fussing and fighting and arguing and whatnot. And so then the judge was like, after we did all that, they said cut because he wasn't acting like he was mad enough. They was like, sir, can you give us a little more judge? They didn't say judge. They said, can you pipe it up, honey? You're not doing nothing. Flat as a rock. So he was like, all right, I'm really not an angry person, but I'll do it. So then he started coming back like he had a real attitude, and I couldn't tell the real from the fake, honey. So now we fighting, okay? All on the judge show and whatnot, okay? So then after that, they were like, okay, we're going to let the judge deliberate. We're going to take a fake commercial break. When they take a commercial break, you actually see the commercials being played on the screen, right? Behind the judge. Then they count you down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and action. Okay, so then you come back. And yes, so on today's episode of Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. Now, mind you, I'm sweating because I'm thinking to myself, oh, child, this is too much. The lights were hot, honey. I had on a good wig. Okay, well, I wasn't wearing wigs in, honey. It was a quick weave, but it was good. Okay. And so they bring us in. And then after we did that, then the judge was like, after looking at this case, now mind you, the case that they made up, okay, it's not a real case. I'm just saying, I'm just telling y'all right now. She was like, after looking at this case, I have decided that you two really love each other. Now we've been arguing for 30 minutes straight. Okay. 30 minutes straight. She was like, I decided that you two really love each other. And I'm not going to award you the honeymoon because I feel like the two of you are going to be okay. And then she hit that gavel against that thing. I said, ain't this a bit? Girl, I know you didn't just have me act a fool up in here for $1,000. I mean, granted, it was $1,000 I ain't have, honey, because I was broke back in the day, honey. I think I had just got out of college. But at the same time, lady, why didn't you give me my honeymoon? So then they escort you out. And you know how at the end of the court shows, they have you do a little interview, like, so what do you think of Paul? And then you say, Paul can go to hell. And then they say, Paul, what do you think of Cheryl? And then you say, F Cheryl, she's a B. Y'all know how it is at the end. So they took us outside and they had him go on one side and had me go on the other side. And they said, so what do you think of the verdict? I said, I think the verdict is some bush. And baby, they ushered me on. They ushered me on out, child. They got us out of there so quick. And then the next fake little scene or whatever, then those people came, honey. That's why every time I watch court shows now, I'm like, that's a lie, honey. You probably don't even know that man. They told you to say that because I know, because I've been on a court show before, honey. It's all fake, child. All of them. The only person who is an actual real judge is Judge Judy, in my opinion. Now, Judge Mathis might actually be a lawyer. I mean, it might actually be a judge. I know he's a lawyer, but I don't know about a judge. But y'all, yeah, them shows fake. So I do believe that they tell them exactly what to say because they told me to sue for a honeymoon that I never got. And that's been 14 years ago. And I'm still waiting on my honeymoon. Child. And the only thing I can remember is I had DVR'd it at home, right? So they tell you the exact date it's going to come out. So they told me, listen, your show, they send you an email. They say your show is going to air. No, it aired November 11th. I will never forget that. I said, oh my gosh, I had all my family and friends come over. I'm like, y'all come over, guys. I'm on TV. I'm popping. So I'm like, y'all come over. Y'all come over. Child, we get there. The show was like 20 minutes with commercials. And then the only thing you hear when you're going to like the commercial is me saying, because the judge had asked me, why should I get a honeymoon? And I said, I deserve that. So that's the only thing I remember from the whole entire episode is me saying, I deserve that. I hated that. I mean, I just hated it. I hated everything about it. All my friends was laughing at me, honey, trying to figure out why I was going down there to ask for a honeymoon from a man I'm already married to. Child, my judge was gone, honey. Now let's keep going and getting into it if we're going to get into it, child. It was just a mess. Whew, child, it was just a mess. Lifetime needs to reach out to you and have you do a Mafs review podcast paid. You're too funny. Thank you, Learning IT. Honey, child, I had to tell y'all that little story. I'm sorry, honey. I had to tell y'all that little story because that was just, it just really let me know that reality TV is fake and phony. And after that, I was like, I'll never do this again. I was totally embarrassed. You should have told them what the plot was. I did. I said, listen, y'all, I'm suing for a honeymoon. But it was like they kept telling me, girl, you're a bad actress. But I was actually really mad. Okay. I was mad up in the time we were doing it. In real time, I was actually mad. But the way that they edited the show, I looked like a page, honey. All I needed was a bad wig with no part. Honey, it was a mess. Okay. Thank you for the super sticker, doll face. I missed somebody else's super sticker because I was speaking my speech, honey. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all, please don't think I'm being rude if I don't get to it. Sometimes it just goes so fast and I can't actually get to it. And I was trying to tell y'all, thank you, Fire Sign, for the super sticker. $500 more like that episode on Marwan Pam. Listen, Chris, I was broke. I had just gotten out of college, honey, and I was like, "Oh, you gonna give me a stack? Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna sleep in the next room, child. Even though I'm gonna really sleep in your room." But honey, they really wanted us to be mad, and I think they probably told me he was cheating on me, child. They was saying all kind of stuff. They was like, "Look, he looked at you like you were ugly. He thinks you're stupid." Like the producer was telling me all kinds of stuff. She was like, "When you go up there, just imagine him sleeping with your best friend." Like they were legit saying stuff like that. And they were saying, okay, he's going to walk in and then I want you to walk in 3 seconds later. Okay. I think I tried to walk in too fast. Child, the producer grabbed my arm. Honey, them people are forceful. Okay, child, that reality TV ain't no joke. They're a mess. I want to start your honeymoon. Thank you, Heart of Inspiration. Because, child, look, now it's a divorce fund. Back then, it was a honeymoon fund. Now it's a divorce fund, honey. Because I got to get rid of this loser that I got attached to me right now, honey. Paige needs to get with me. I tell you how to get rid of them, child. That's the only thing I agree with Chris. Paige was looking all kind of hellish walking down that aisle. A fool. Child, when I first seen it, I said, oh, I think he looked at that hair. Honey, he looked up at that wig and it didn't have no part. I said, oh, Judge Mathis is funny as hell, isn't he? I love Judge Mathis. He knows how to rile people up. He was an actual judge here in Detroit. Oh, okay, JM. Okay. I don't take those reality shows that serious. Okay, so he actually, I love when he call him a crackhead. They can accidentally sneeze. You're sneezing because you're a crackhead. I'm like, Judge Mathis, you don't know them people. You don't know them people. That man is a mess. Thank you for the super sticker. I am Jamila. Thank you so much. My grandson's mother was on Judge Judy. JJ did not let her say a word. It was bad. Jacqueline, listen, it is bad. And the judge we had, she was really nice. But the bailiff, he was rude, or whoever they hired to pretend to be the bailiff. Honey, I don't think he could spell bailiff. Okay. But he was rude. The production was trying to be rude because I didn't want that old ashy makeup. That's how I know that Brianna and Paige got makeup done by their makeup artist that they had for Lifetime. Because when I went to that fake judge show, I didn't wear makeup at the time. You know, that's when natural beauty was in. Honey, you just put on a little lip liner, and gone about your business, a little mascara, and zhuzh your hair up and you good to go. So she was like, let me put you on a little makeup. I was like, oh ma'am, I don't wear makeup. This is when my skin was completely flawless. And I was like, I don't wear makeup. She's like, just a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. Child, when they put on that makeup, I should have just crossed my hand and laid down in a casket, honey. I looked straight like a corpse. I said, what in the dawn of the dead hell have you done to my face? I was pissed. I said, ma'am, I need to go to the restroom. She was like, oh, well, we're about to start filming. I said, ma'am, I have got to go to the restroom. Child, I went in there and wet a paper towel and started scraping that cake off my face. I said, oh my God, honey. I walked out. Now, mind you, I done scraped the cake off, and my husband looking at me like, what in the hell is wrong with your face, honey? Who in the hell left the gate open? That's how he was looking at me, y'all, honey. They was trying to really get us to fight. I was looking like I was looking. So sometimes, I understand Paige, honey, because production will make you looking how you looking. So they probably told Paige, look, Chris downstairs, he having a fake panic attack. He down there talking to that ex. We want you to get up. Don't run a rake through that head. We're going to give you this robe. They probably put that robe on her as she was going through the elevator. And then and then that's what happened. And then I had to say something about it on my review. Child, I'm sorry, Paige, honey. I forgot about when I went on that court show, child, and they put that corpse makeup on me. I said, what in the hell? Not Corpisha. I'm done with you, 86. I am done with you. I just couldn't believe they did me like that, honey. Well, him and Paige got that in common. They will rant and rave. Child, me and Chris got that in common too. Child, because look, I can talk all day long. It was just a mess. Yeah, Paige was powdered with flour or powdered sugar. That's that studio makeup. They do not know how to work with brown skin girls. Child, put that makeup on me. I said, what in the child? My husband was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You know when a man say that's what's up, that means ill. Okay, that's a yuck and that's a hell now. I was like, not that's what's up. I said, how do I look? He was like, oh, that's what's up. I said, that's what's up. No, seriously though, but because I'm about to be on TV. And child, when we got to the premiere, honey, I had my watch party. All my friends were like, Misha, what is happening? I said, child, don't even ask, honey. I'm about to delete this. And I hope it never be shown again, child. And sometimes I try to look for it on YouTube and I can't find it. Thank God. Woo! Child, a mess. All right, y'all. So now that I done spoke my speech on that, honey, let's move on over to ready to love or ready to hang out or whatever they ready to do. Let's see. Let's go on over here to them. All right, so now here we are over here on Ready to Love. My friend was on a judge show because she keyed somebody's car. Was it a real judge show? They do pay you though, and they pay you to sit in the audience too. If you sit in the audience the entire day, you get $100, and I think if you sit a half a day, they give you $50. I feel you though. My BFF got married, and I paid $100 for some makeup I had to take off and redo. I was heated. Yes, Chris. I was like, oh no, ma'am, honey. Mm-mm. More like ready to waste time. Yes, ready to waste time. And I'm just like, okay, so this is the first thing I want to say because I want to hear up and say it before I forget it. Why did Ron think it was a good thing to have a date in a lounge or a nightclub setting? How were you supposed to get to know somebody in a club? I was like, you belong with Chrysanthemum because your mind is bad. Honey, why would you have a whole club scenario around these people getting to know your potential woman? And this just shows you that Alexis is not a match. Because if you're gonna sit up and act like you in an interview, like you in a boardroom, but you're really at club such and such, honey, that shows you crazy, honey. A mess. Okay, world, honey, it's a long story, child. But anyway, the dish ran away with the spoon. Okay, my husband ran away with one of my coworkers, and so now they're somewhere, hopefully in the pits of hell. Okay, and yeah, child, it's a long story, child. I'm gonna have to get into it one day when we get into it. Are you still interviewing someone from Mavs? Yes, Devana. We talked about that too. Like when the live first started. I still am interviewing somebody from Mavs, and they gonna be speaking a speech. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thought that club date was weird. I was uncomfortable looking at it. I was too, and especially Jazzy. I was uncomfortable at the fact that Ron was up here hitting the Dougie and doing these little dances that came out in 2006. I'm like, what is happening? And second of all, it was so strange because it's like you had Chrysanthemum on one side, and she was like the bottle service girl. Okay, talking about Nate, you gonna take a shot? And she was trying to get in good with the friend or whatever. Which quiet as it's kept, honey, Nate was enjoying Chrysanthemum because you see, he didn't pipe up and say he liked Alexis like that. He was like thinking to myself, honey, if you don't want her, I'll take her. But I just thought it was strange because I'm like, okay, you got a bottle service on one side, and then you got the boardroom on the other side. So I was just it was strange, honey. I was like, what is happening? A coworker, they are the worst. Child, they was hiding me out in the open, honey. I was the other woman and didn't even realize it, child. Child, Alexis was acting like they were at some place serious. They were at the damn club. Half naked is the dress code. Little baby, you're right. I thought about that after I watched it again for enjoyment. And I said, what was she supposed to be wearing? A turtleneck? Like, this is the thing. She was threatened by Chrysanthemum because she was looking like something in her little cat suit, okay, giving body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. And she felt some kind of way. So when she said, especially when she started rubbing on Ron's leg, oh, baby, that really heated her hot. She was like, I'm a flight attendant. Okay, Alexis. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. I mean, she has to show him that she's interested. But quite frankly, Chrysanthemum, you were there for the friends and not for Ron. But child, it was just a whole mess. That club date was awkward AF. It sure was. I was like, why are they in a club? That was so, and I didn't think about it when I did the review. But after I watched it again, I said, did I realize they were in an actual club? Child, I'm reviewing so fast, not even realizing because I sure would have went in about that. Alexis was definitely hating this episode. Insecure. Yeah, she was like, I'm a secure woman. Well, I can't tell because you have spoken about nothing but Chrysanthemum in every single confessional. I mean, every episode when it comes to Ron, really, because let's just think back, y'all. Remember when she was like, they were at the masquerade ball, and she was like, so do you think that Chrysanthemum really wants you for you? And Ron put Chrysanthemum down in that moment as well. He was like, well, I mean, it's either gonna be something or it's gonna be surface like it is now. Then we go to the next one when they went on that date and she had them cowboy boots on or whatever, honey, getting her crocodile Dundee on. Then she was like, so who is your number one? And why do you like me? And you need to have an answer to that question. The only reason why is because it has something to do with chrysanthemum. Okay. And then this episode, she was losing her mind. I'm like, girl, go on, honey. I was like, this is ridiculous. Not in the cowhide dress. Listen, and JB, you know we from Texas, honey, but we do not ride around and look like Alexis is looking. Okay, so y'all don't hold it against us. Honey, ruffles at the top and boots at the bottom. I'm like, girl, what is happening? Looking a plum fool. Glad Chrysanthemum's name triggers me, and Dragonfly Dragonfly Alexis makes me want to call the fashion police. Talking about what do you have on? I said, if this ain't the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle. Girl, if you don't go on, Alexis gets on my nerves. Yes, Demi, I'm with you. She's very insecure. She wants Ron to put Chris down in order to build her up. I'm sounding like Chris from Mafs. Wait a minute. I'm glad you said that because wait, we gotta just pause for the cause. I gotta go back to that real quick. I'm glad you said that. Did y'all hear? I know we cross referencing some things, but I forgot to mention that because I was wrapped up in telling y'all this fake judge story that I went to. Did y'all hear when Chris said I was mad at him because he was lowering? Now all the time he talk about Paige, you hear this. When we was playing, we was having fun. Okay, he sounded like he got a frog in his throat. Okay, this is when he talking about Paige, but when he talking about that ex, he was like, yeah, I was just more so upset because he was talking about Mercedes, bringing Mercedes down and building Paige up. What happened to the frog in your throat, bruh? So now all of a sudden that you're talking about that ex, now you can speak a little clearer. Boy, if you don't go on somewhere, honey, and why are you and Paige just sitting up there smiling? I said, are the producers holding up a sign? Because they will hold up signs to tell you to smile. They'll tell you to, brighten your face up. Try to be holding up all kind of stuff. They be telling you which direction to look in. So maybe they were telling Paige to smile in that moment. But girl, he is sitting right next to you telling you that he's not upset about you like we all thought. He's upset about Mercedes. That ex. Honey, now let's move forward. So I'm like, I ain't got time. Alexis is playing the game like the men. She just trying to make it to the end. She sure is. And then you know what? Another thing too, I noticed about Alexis. I noticed that I don't like her hair. I'm tired of that wig. I'm tired of that wet and wavy wig. I think that's what's really getting under my skin. Not only the clothes, because y'all know I want to burn her closet to the ground, allegedly. But it's that wig. Because when I saw her on a picture on Instagram, she had a straight wig on. It was like, it was cocked to the side a little bit. But she looked cute. I said, oh, okay, Alexis. I didn't even realize it was her. I said, is that Dragonfly? Honey, Dragonfly been practicing her art. Okay. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, not Dragonfly Jones, honey. Somebody call Martin. Alexis is in a competitive mode all the time. What will her energy be now that the rival has been eliminated? Sha, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen now. But now you know who she's in competition with on the slick? Kyra. Because did you see how on the preview for the next episode how AJ grabbed her face and kissed her? But this is my thing with AJ. Sir, why do you always get extra touchy-feely with Alexis, who is the easiest to manipulate when it comes to you when it's time for a male to be eliminated? You ain't fooling me. Every time it's time for a man to go home, AJ mysteriously just falls in lust with Alexis. I'm like, child, I don't trust it. Alexis doesn't really like Ron. Bet she just goes back to AJ next week. That's how I feel too. But then she did look like she was kind of taken aback when he tried to kiss her. I was like, oh my God. Let me see. Alexis looks like a dragonfly made that wig. It's not a bad wig, Fairhope. It's just it's old. You can't wear a wig every day. Okay, wigs are made for you to look like Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, and Delisha. It's not meant for you to be Alicia, 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 Ali. Like every day, girl, the same wig on every day. Did you dust that wig before? Child, she probably even take that wig off, honey. Probably put on a helmet of salvation and go straight to bed. Girl, take that wig off and dust it or something. It's just up there dry. Put a little put some mousse in it, honey, and bring it back to life for each date. She ain't winning against Kyra. Kyra got a fan club. Listen, don't she got one? And you know what? I think they all chose Kyra because if you choose Kyra, You know AJ ain't gonna get mad, honey. He just be sitting there looking. He like, I got this. I ain't worried about y'all. I ain't even pay for a date and she's still talking to me. So I'm not worried about that. And then I feel like Kyra is the safe bet. Because let's look at the ladies. You have Vernicia. She ain't on nobody but Joelle, but they don't mind getting rid of her. Then you have Liz. Poor Liz, honey. And we're gonna get into it as we get into it. But yeah, Liz. You have Liz, and then you got Dragonfly. And then you have who else is left? Kyra. And that's it. So it's like, let me just say Kyra. Kyra, Kyra, Kyra. That's what I should have named my YouTube. That's what I should have named my review. Because honey, they were calling Kyra's name left and right. And I was trying to figure out, why was David saying Kyra's name? You ain't never talked to Kyra? Child, what? AJ don't want them women. He be looking so disconnected in the group meetings. He just want to stay to the end and maybe gain a new smash buddy. Beanie, listen, I said that too. I feel like, you know, if he keep in contact with a few of them, child, maybe he can find somebody to get judged with late one night. But he does, like, even I watched a little clip, because you know they don't show everything, and I really wish they would, because you know what, I saw a clip on of a deleted scene, and it actually made me look at Baby Teeth a little different. Jason, it made me look at him a little different. It definitely made me look at Kyra different, because at first I was upset with her about the way that she handled the whole depression thing, but once I saw that clip, she actually did have an in-depth conversation with Jason about his depression, and it made me like her more. It was very endearing. And also, um, Alexis had asked, they were sitting down on the bench, and Alexis had asked Jason about who he liked or whatever. And she was basically telling the group, listen, Jason told me that he really don't like me. He really likes Kyra. Why she felt the need to say that, I have no idea. So Kyra was just sitting in between Jason and AJ on the bench, right? AJ wasn't saying nothing. And I was thinking to myself, like, why isn't he saying anything? And even Kyra said, she said, I kind of feel some kind of way that AJ not saying nothing. You know, because Jason was saying, look, one thing about Jason, he won't speak his speech, honey, because he said, listen, I really like Kyra. She's a nice girl. I feel like we got a connection. And Kyra was just blushing. AJ was sitting on the other side, not saying nothing. And I'm like, okay, you don't like this girl, honey. Let's just say what it is. You don't like her at all. David is insecure as hell and he needs help. Liz didn't have to tell you, but she did, and you switched on her with his old rights. Okay, he sure did. And I'm like, okay, listen, David, she didn't have to tell you anything. And I think it's in his mind that, you know what, I want to save myself for marriage, and then probably want to save his kiss for marriage too, honey. I don't know what it is. But then I guess he felt like, okay, she shared that with Jason. And so now it's not going to be, new and exciting with us. I don't know what he was thinking. And then all of a sudden, he looks at Jason and says, I choose Kyra. No, you're being petty, okay? Because you liked Kyra. I mean, you liked Liz, and he kissed her. So, I mean, but he kissing everybody, honey. He just doing it in a little slick way. He as bad as Troy. David is possessive. He is, Natalie, honey, and the streets is talking, honey, and they say you might be right, allegedly. Didn't Liz mama teach her to keep it cute and mute when it comes to telling me any of your any of it? Broke babougie, any of it. I mean, you don't tell them about the bank account. You don't tell them. I mean, it's just certain things you need to keep to yourself. And that's why I appreciated when Amber said she didn't tell her friends or family about KG, because they don't need to know that right now. I'm just like, why do they need to know that you're dealing with him? Y'all are dating. So you're still getting to know other people. You don't know if that's the one you're going to be with yet or not. And then not to mention the fact that she told him this, but they're technically single. And it wasn't even just they didn't really get into it. Like when he kissed Kyra, they kind of got into it a little bit. But what did y'all think when he said, me and Kyra have went to another level? Because, child, my mind went to something totally different. Like, what is another level? A level of what? Because, like, and then he was like, I have a strong, strong connection. I'm like, strong, strong. So what does that mean? I'm like, Did y'all hear Jason say to Kyra about the sexual picture? Jay Blake, yes, I said that in my review. I said when he saw that picture of the people being intimate, he was like, yeah, I like that one. That's the one I like right there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you do. You little horn dog. Honey, I don't trust it. What you say, Leah? They smashed, honey, allegedly. Okay, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, because somebody told me that they were on a Facebook group and they with Ready to Love or whatever, and they were saying that the people were talking about how they had sex or whatever. I'm like, oh, really? Not Jason and AJ. I mean Jason and Kyra. They were just saying that people were saying that. Then he said they're kissing, 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 really kissing. Yes, Demi. And I was like, why does he have to keep repeating that they're kissing? Like, child, okay. Y'all were kissing. Great. Doesn't he, Bonita? Jason screams corny and weird. He sure does. Hold on for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Give me just 1 second. Okay, sorry, y'all. I'm back. Okay, here we go. What you say? Jason is the type to tell Liz what she want to hear, then low key try to change her mind to have sex with him. I know his type, very calculated. Yes, and I felt like that last episode when she said something about her, abstaining from sex, and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, if you want to do that, then I want to do that." And then as soon as they got on the Ferris wheel, he kissed her in her mouth, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, listen." To me, I just feel like Jason doesn't understand boundaries. Cause he even did I mean, I think Kyra thought it was cute, but I was just like, dude, what is all this kissing? David is dead behind the eyes. That ninja is an unstable creature. Something wrong with him. It might not be that he dead behind the eyes. Them eyes doing something weird no matter what. Child, I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay. David lazy eye looked like it opened a bit when he Oh my I'm not in the mood for this today. Y'all, I don't feel good. I'm not about to play with y'all. David, let me gather myself. Y'all are so crazy. David Lazy Eye looked like it opened a bit when he was losing his mind in the preview. A mess. Baby, he was upset. And Liz was so classy. She was like, "You're interrupting me while I'm speaking." See, y'all, I wish I could be that classy. Because let me tell y'all something. Honey, I speak my speech all over you. You better not interrupt me while I'm talking. Child. Because I'm already long-winded. And then you going to interrupt me too? Honey, it'll be on and now. I'll be like, "Boy, I know you heard me talking." See, that's probably why I'm single. Liz so classy. But what they say, she's stiff. I'm like, stiff? Child, goodbye. Yes, y'all, don't forget to subscribe. This is like the most people that I've had on a live so far. It's 525 of y'all, making me feel like something and making me feel like y'all want to hear me speak my speech. And I was supposed to be done 14 minutes ago. But, because I love all of y'all so much, honey, we're going to keep on talking and getting into it as we get into it. So please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We have fun up over here. It's always a lighthearted good time. We might, make a little fun of some people, but we don't mean no harm, okay? I hope Liz gathers David because she should not have been in the bottom. And I know she felt like, how did I get here? And then did you see how very calculated David was? And he said, this could very well put Liz in the bottom, and I would probably be the cause of it. Oh, you think? Like, you think you might be the cause of it? You are the cause of it. Like, what is happening? I just got here. You can't be almost done. Hey, Misha. Hey, Miss Black. No, I'm not almost done because we still have to talk a little bit about Ready to Love. I was supposed to be done 15 minutes ago because I said I was just gonna do an hour, but then I took up like 20 minutes talking about this court show that I went on. So, now we got to make up for lost time. Everyone likes you. You're funny. Thank you, Cartier. Not everybody, honey, because somebody put underneath one of my my post the other day. You sound like Quad from Married to Medicine. You're not funny. I said, oh, it must be so hard to be miserable. First of all, sweetheart, honey, I'm nowhere near Quad. Okay, we don't sound nothing alike. Number two, you can go to hell respectfully. All right, let's move forward. These men are lazy. They love it when they feel like the women are chasing them and competing over them. But as soon as they realize they're making connections with other people, they get upset. Yes, and this is the thing. Women, we can deal, we're supposed to just deal with whatever. And oh, speaking of that, this is what I wanted to say about Vernisha and Joelle saying that she was controlling. Y'all know what I thought about? I think that y'all remember last episode, Amber said that they kissed. Well, editing made it seem like Amber didn't say on the cheek. But then this episode, Vernisha did let us know that she knew that it was, in fact, on the cheek, right? So I feel like Vernisha was in her feelings. She went home, probably called him on the way home and was like, hey, Joelle, honey, so you kissing on the cheek and whatnot? And he probably was like, why are you questioning me? You know, it's a dating show. And she probably was like, well, Amber said y'all kissed. And then, he probably was like, well, listen, baby, I can do whatever I want. You heard me. And she probably was like, no, you can't do whatever you want because you belong to me. They had an argument. And then the next day they had to film with the friends. So I feel like it wasn't her being controlling. I just came up with that in my mind, but I think that might be right. I feel like she may have brought to his attention that she knew that he kissed Amber, although it was only on the cheek. And then he got mad because he was like, you trying to control me. You heard me? And that's what I think happened. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that's Joel was in his feelings. He sure was. Quad is beautiful and doing very well. Love to see other women winning. She is sipping socialite, and I was trying to figure out like if I did sound like her and what, but we don't sound alike. Just this is my opinion. But at the same time, they were like, "That's not cute." I'm like, "Girl, shut up. Whoever this is, please leave me alone, child. I'm not bothering nobody. You don't like it, then don't listen." Vernicia's mistake was putting all her eggs in one basket with Joel. See how fast he discarded her? Let that be a lesson. Get to know them different men the same way the men do them women. You are so right. You are right about that. And I said the exact same thing. I feel like but this is the thing too. Y'all know as women, sometimes you like, look, why did you bother me? I was just over here chilling, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden you came to me. If you didn't want to be bothered with me, don't come to me. Because at that mixer, Vernicia was kind of sitting by herself, and then here come Joel, and he immediately gravitated to her. And after that, we only saw those two together. Even Jason made reference to it when he said at the masquerade ball, "Oh, I'm coming to y'all wedding." Jason's so childish, honey. He ain't like he in high school. That's something you say to your high school friends. Y'all gonna get married. Boy, if you don't go out, honey, get them teeth together. But anyway, when Jason said that, that let me know that maybe Vernisha and Joel, that everybody knows that those two are together. You know what I'm saying? Well, not together, but those two are mostly, hanging around with each other or dating. So he came over there and bothered her. But then she should have still been like, let me just see what I was doing. But then after I think about it, like what other man would she really have gotten to know? AJ? Or maybe Ron? Maybe her and Ron might have got along well because they're both entrepreneurs. She has a salon and he does caskets or something, honey. I don't know, something like that. But I know he owns a business. Joel's friends want him low key. She's probably hates it. Leah, child, if you don't sound like me, I looked at that. I said, "Oh, girl, be quiet and pull that wig back, honey." So something talking about, I want them crabs. When you gonna get my crabs? I know you can cook crabs, and I was just trying to get when you gonna get in mine. And I'm like, okay, because and then it's the thing too. Vernisha came on too strong. I made that mistake before. You see the family and the friends, and you're just trying to be. It's like you're being yourself, but you put a little stank on it, so you kind of judging it up a little bit. And I think she thought that the friend was cool. So she was like, girl, I was trying to tell him you can't be calling everybody baby. And I'm thinking to myself, Vernisha, listen, she really mean you, okay? Because I think quiet as is kept, child. She looked like one of those people that became his friend because she thought he was fine. And Joel, he just sweet. He probably like, okay, baby, you could be my sister. And she was like, cool. So she hang around and run everybody off that come along, child. It's an old saying that goes, what other people say about me is none of my business, honey. None. That's why sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I don't want to read the comments. Because especially when it's a controversial subject. I'm like, dang, man, I don't even want to review this. Cause I mean, some people gonna feel this way, some people gonna feel that way. Honey, I'm gonna speak my speech. And if one person say the wrong thing, then they're gonna be like, oh, child, me should have jumped out of character. Sometimes you gotta get them. The friend was hating on her from the moment she walked in, giving her the eyes. Lovely P, you seen it too, honey? They ain't fooling you. Honey, exactly. I was peeping the same thing. I think low key, all the female friends were doing that, except Ron's. I feel like she was actually very objective. And because she even said, she said, I like Chrysanthemum too. But I just really like Alexis more. No, Alexis answered more questions. But y'all know what I thought was so crazy? When Kyra went out with AJ to the volleyball court, as my grandmother would say, and his friend said, what's the last book you read? Boy, you know you don't care nothing about no book she read. She a whole attorney in these streets. Child, she read a book every day. I'm like, what does her reading a book have to do with the price of tea in China? Boy, if you don't get out of here. I was like, they just asking anything now. Production wrote that down. What's the last book that you read? Can you tell me that? Who cares about that? Like, that's just crazy. That is nothing that anybody cares about. Let's see. So true. Even if Renisha went ham on Joelle, he still kind of gave up on her easy. He did give up on her very easy, but then he was so confused because when nephew Tommy kind of like called him out about it, he was like, well, I just said Kyra because it was just the first name that came to my mind, but really, Vernisha is still my baby. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, because you could have potentially gotten her sent home. So either you do or you don't. You will or you won't. Okay, you do or you don't. Honey, now make me hit you with that 3LW. No more, baby, I'ma do right. Y'all know I got a song for everything. Did you all see Joel's YouTube channel? He rapping and it's terrible. Listen to me. Child, somebody sent me that link. I said, what in the karaoke talent show? Child, I'm not about to play. I'm not about to play, honey. I said, what is happening? Remind me of Carly Red. Y'all remember Carly Red on Love and Hip Hop when she had that song Louis Gucci Prada, Prada Louis Gucci, or whatever she was talking about? Oh my goodness. I said this right here. Child, I'm not finna play with y'all. This is a mess. AJ is a Scorpio and his friend. Oh, not a Scorpio. Okay. That pretty much says it all. And his friend is probably a Scorpio. And Scorpio men can be fake, woke, and intelligent. And that's why he asked about a damn book. There. If this ain't the truth, if you ain't speaking your speech, let me tell you something. My soon to be ex husband is a Scorpio. And he sits around talking, okay, like he is Albert Einstein, a whole fool in these streets. Do you hear me? And his silly friend is a Scorpio as well. And he's also an imbecile. And they both sit around quoting Socrates, knowing they ain't got a pot to piss in. So, baby, you are probably absolutely right, okay? Acting fake woke, knowing they broke, honey. Child, speaking ain't speech ain't saying nothing. There. I love that comment. Child, so much cringe. Joel can't rap and wasting money on music videos. Y'all so silly. Yes, honey, it sure was. I said, what is happening? Carly Red song cracks me up. Gucci Louis Pride. Child, every time and them little feet was moving, I said, oh, and y'all remember when Johnson used to be like, old ass Carly Red? Oh my goodness. Every time I see Carly Red, I just laugh, honey. She is great TV and she's such a good sport. Child, I couldn't be there. Everybody talking about me. Cara is still grounded in my eyes for what she did to Christian. Oh, y'all forgot about that. Professor Xavier. No, I sure did not, honey. The way she did Christian. But you know what? She did this is the thing about that. I think the reason why I kind of like let up on her a little bit is because I was just scrolling. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was her and Amber. They were doing kind of like a behind the scenes type thing, I guess, giving us a little bit of intel on what's actually going on with production and how we see things and it's actually different. And she said that she knew Christian before the show. And she said that she was trying to come to him as like he was her little brother. And that when we saw her leave, when he was going to get her a drink, somebody had called her, I think from production or something like that. They called her and she actually came back to tell him, I'll be right back or something like that. But when she came back, he was gone. But the way that they edited, it made it look like she just ditched him and she was mistreating Christian, but she really wasn't. So, but my thing about that part is she started saying there wasn't that many people there. It was only Stacy and Joel and Vernisha. And girl, that's too many. He should have been pulled to the side. You don't say that in front of everybody. But yeah, I'm not gonna play. Fire sign, you're going in timeout. Don't forget the new video of Joel. I'm not about to play with y'all. I'm not about to watch nothing with Joel. I'm not about to do it. Okay. Honey, that accent don't need to be rapping. Why did Alexis say she can hop on a plane with Ron at the drop of a dime when she's tethered to a job and has a young child? Little baby 245. Are you me or am I you? Because I was saying, girl, you're not even making any sense, honey. You work for corporate America and your child is in school. I'm not hopping on nobody's plane and my baby has to go to school the next day. Like, girl, you just saying anything, honey. Misha, my daughter walked by and you said you were drama and she loved it. Side note, she's 9 and a Scorpio. Listen, my mom's a Scorpio and my sister is a Scorpio and my soon-to-be ex-husband is a Scorpio. Child, I'm just getting stung from every direction. Child, a mess. Night night. Night. Tell the baby I said night night. That's why I had to send my son away. I'm like, boy, get out of here, honey. He done start asking me, so what's going on with AJ? I'm like, boy, you are 6, okay? Don't worry about what AJ and Kyra doing. That ain't none of your business. Child, I got to stop doing my reviews when he awake. I didn't like how David mentioned Liz never being married without kids like it was a negative. He screams chastity culture and the way he was pressed over her kissing Jason. Yeah, I didn't like that. And not only did I not like him bringing that up, like she was barren or something. Like, why are you saying she's 40, has no kids, never been married? Like, no man will want her. I didn't like that. And I didn't like the friend saying, was she crazy? I'm like, okay, because this is my thing. If I did choose David, okay, and I watched that back, I would never want to be around your friend because that's just how I am. Honey, once I hear something that you done said that I don't like, it take a long time for you to thaw me out again, honey. I have an ice box where my heart used to be. Okay, shout out to Omarion. But I would have been like, first of all, chunky butt. Okay, I'm not crazy. But they say your friend is. So the fact that I gave him a chance, okay, he should be happy for that. Sure, nobody got time for that. That's what a lot of men do when it gets serious. They run. That is the truth. I don't know how many dates these people have had, but it seems like it's something that we're not seeing. I didn't like that either. He had me heated with that judgment. Yeah, Brittany, I was like, don't do that. Like, what is the cause of that? Like, how does that make you feel to say, is she crazy? Just because you had a kid or you've been married before, that doesn't make you any better than anybody else, honey. And in my case, child, it was a huge mistake to get married not once, but twice. Child, I'll never do that again. Alexis is definitely a pick me. Laugh out loud. I'm gonna send her my hair connect, like Misha said. You gotta switch it up. Yes, like just child. If you don't rotate them wigs, child, wearing that Monday wig on a Sunday. David don't need to talk. He's been married 2 times and still unwanted, like his daddy, Jennifer. Exactly. I was like, okay, you've been married twice, divorced twice, okay, and have 4 kids. Or did I get that? Did I get that wrong? Is it married 4 times and got 2 kids, or is it married 2 times and has 4 kids? Either way, 4 and 2 is in the equation. And she didn't judge you because this is the thing. A woman that has a lot to offer, like Liz, and that's coming in with absolutely no baggage, some of them wouldn't even look at you because they're like, look, I ain't got no kids. I've never been married. I want all things new. But she didn't judge you. She gave you a chance based on your character. And then the minute that she did something you didn't like, then you're like, yeah, I need to make sure I'm leading with my head and not my heart. Boy, goodbye, honey. Dust. I ain't got time to play with you. When they can't find a mistake / true flaw in you, they go after what they assume should be an insecurity. They sure do. I agree. I definitely agree. And I also think that Liz should not even look his way because he has a little bit too much baggage, emotional and otherwise, to be dealing with somebody like her. But baby, I think they made her mad. When they put her in that bottom, I said, oh, Liz look like she a little bit hot. David got no room to talk about crazy with his receding hairline and barely connected beard. All of them got that struggle beard except AJ. His looks judged, honey. The rest of them need a little help. And speaking of people being eliminated, what did y'all think about Chrysanthemum when she came in with her little stank attitude to talk to KG? At least she was smart enough to know that she was almost about to be eliminated. Honey, she knew it. I'm 40 years old, never married, and no kids, but it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. I'm like Liz and not gonna settle for just any old thing. I know that's right, Lady Reds 231. I definitely agree with you because I was 31 when I got pregnant, and well, I got married at 31 and then I got pregnant and I had my baby at 32. But every time I would meet a guy, because my thing is, see, this is why you got to stick to your rules, okay, ladies? Because I had said constantly since the age of 0, okay, I do not want to date a man with kids. And the only reason why is because I wanted us to experience our first together. Not any discrimination against, I don't want a man with a child because the baby mama. It wasn't nothing like that. I just wanted it to be our first everything together. Okay. I had this little fairy tale in my mind. So when I turned 30, I started panicking. My friend was like, girl, just date. If they have a kid, it's fine. So then I met my husband. He had one daughter, but he was lying to me all the time because the daughter lived in a whole different state. So I never got to meet her or anything. And I would see sometime his little interaction with the mom or whatever, but not much. But every time I would meet a man, they would be like, "You 31 and you don't have no kids? Are you crazy?" Like they used to say stuff like that to me. Or they would say, "Can you have kids?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can, but I don't want to just pop it for pimp, honey. I want a husband. So I'm just trying to figure out, why are you upset at the fact that I don't want to just get pregnant by any old body? Like, that's crazy. I didn't see Ron and Chris have much chemistry. They look dry AF. He just likes the way she looks, and she likes the way he puts her looks on a pedestal. Period. That's exactly why I said, honey, he was just looking and choosing. Oh, that one's cute. I'll take her. Okay, I don't like the boots, but we can work with it. I'll take her. Honey, he don't like nobody. Flower Girl has gotten through life based on her looks and skin color and was surprised when it didn't work with these group of men, her and Stuck Up Stacy. But you know what? It seems like all the women were very upset at elimination. Tressa, she kind of shed a tear. Child, y'all know Ida was cussing them all out. Ida was pissed. Ida was like, look, y'all getting on my nerves, honey. I done came out here, child, and I done been out here all day, and now y'all don't want to be bothered. So she was upset. And then Chrysanthemum, child, I'm calling this lady Chrysanthemum. Oh, child, Run done rubbed off on me. Chris, she was very upset when they eliminated her. So the women get very emotional. I can't wait to see David be eliminated next week, honey. I cannot wait. Because I'm sure hoping that it happens. Of course, Anthem looks so sexy at elimination dinner with KG. As a man, I know for a fact that KG asked to take her home that night. I don't think he did. KG don't seem like that type, but he did hold on to her for like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, listen, KG. Now remember Amber, honey? Amber Waves of Grain. Child, do you remember Amber? He hugging her for 30 minutes. I see somebody. Can I have a real one? I said, oh, KG, honey, he gonna get his hugs, child. These some old touchy men. Real talk, I've learned that a divorced man with kids probably isn't worth your time, especially if you don't have any and haven't been married. Jess, I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way, okay? Because he was divorced and had a child when I met him. So, honey, if that ain't the truth, it was time for Flower Child to go. Yeah, no connections were being made. And like I told y'all about the OWN having the little snippets that you can see that they left out, there was one date that Jason and Chris went on, right? So he took her to a really you know what? That Jason gonna throw a date. Okay, now I gotta give it to him. Jason know how to put a date together. So he said that he wanted to do something that they both had in common. So he took her to um it was like a pilot type thing where it's like a simulation of you being on a flight, but as the actual pilot, because he went to aviator school and she's a flight attendant. So he took her and they had this date and they had to put on like this aviator gear and all that. And he was trying to make small talk and she was like, yeah, I'm like, oh my God. So then he was talking to her and she was like, I don't know why he keep asking me all these interview questions. I'm like, she is so rude. And he was really trying his best. And so then he said, you know what? She's a pretty girl, but her communication sucks. And so it's a no. And I'm like, that's just crazy. Like, you can't go on just looks alone, girl. Unclench that jaw and actually talk to these men. And then she got mad because they got mad that you weren't returning texts. Girl, you're on a dating show. Like, I'm not understanding. Jason has the best dates. He's the one that shocks you when the lights go out. Honey, but no, he look like his mouth too wet for me. And on top of that, honey, he look like he got a little halitosis. I cannot be bothered. But he does look like he does a good date. And then when he said, I feel like Kyra deserves the rose petals. Quiet as it's kept, I feel like Jason will put a rose petal down for anybody. Honey, I might call him. Child, I told y'all I need to go on a date. Honey, I'll be like, Jason now, honey, keep your mouth to yourself and don't forget the roses. That's all I'm saying. He look like he'll put some roses down for everybody, child. I say not the roses, honey. Kyra gonna get some roses if she don't do nothing else. I don't like to be interviewed either, but there's a difference between that and just getting to know someone. Yeah, I'm with you, Dada, but at the same time, or is it Day Day? It's one of them. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm just gonna say 8806. I'm with you on that. But it's like some of the questions that they were asking was kind of like an interview. What's the last book you read? What is your 5-year plan? I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? And I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, just like this. I'm with Chrysanthemum on being interviewed. That's the worst part of having to get a job. Okay, that's why I'm trying to do it for myself. Y'all wonder why I'm uploading all these videos, honey? So I can make YouTube my full-time job, honey. I hate going through all them different. So what do you see yourself here in 10 years? I don't see myself here in 10 years. Okay. I'm just trying to get rent paid, honey. I'm looking for something as I'm in this interview right now. Girl, go on, honey. But they need to try to make it more, I feel like it should have flowed better. And also, someone said that maybe the women should have let them meet their friends, but I feel like they didn't do that because they did it last season. And then, it backfired on KG. So I feel like this time they gave the men a chance. But I don't know. I just feel like it didn't give what it was supposed to give, especially Ron all up in club such and such. Chris saying she didn't do relationships defeat the purpose of being on the show. Honey, she just saying anything. I'm like, I think she tries to sound so cool and unbothered. She's one of those people that secretly cry if you upset her about anything. She has a really tough exterior, but I don't really think that's who she is. Because, I mean, because the fact that she even just said, my mom never showed affection, so I don't show affection. Okay, so that's what you're lacking. So we're gonna have to get some therapy up for that. Okay, because that has to hurt as a child, your parent not hugging you or kissing you or showing you any type of affection. And then, so now she has this wall up, like, I don't do relationships or I don't do guys or this and that. And I'm just like, girl, go on, honey. You need to go to somebody's couch. Let me see. Like I'm all about pretty privilege, but have a personality in some kind of conversation. She has absolutely nothing. Just sitting there looking. Even at elimination, she didn't have anything to say. I was like, girl, okay. KG, just tell a girl to go head on, honey. All you should have said was, girl, gone. That's what they need to say instead of you're not ready to love. They need to start saying, boy, gone, girl, gone. Christmas only has the not Christmas. Christmas only has the Italian thing, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Child, I am done. Okay, y'all, please hit the like button for me. Thank you, Valerie. I love Miss Valerie. She always so sweet. Y'all, please hit the like button for me. It is 533 or 31 or 30 or however many it want to be, child. Just hit the like button. Even if you don't like it, hit it anyway because it's free and you want to do something nice for someone today. It comes full circle. Just say, let me just go and throw this girl a bone so she can shut up. Just do that. That'll work for me as well. Let me see. Can we talk about MMI calling Jason toddler mouth in her review? I laughed so hard. I couldn't think of nothing else. He got the mouth of a baby. I said, what is happening? And then when he was kissing Kyra, I was like, that breath look like it don't smell right, honey. Woo. It is not uncommon for kids of the 70s/80s not to have an affectionate parent. Ain't that the truth, J-Dub? Okay? Ain't that the truth? But listen to me. My parents were not affectionate, but at the same time, I make sure I hug my baby randomly every day. I kiss on him. You just want things that you didn't have. But at the same time, I feel like Chrysanthemum is more so like, I didn't get it, so you ain't getting it either. Like at some point, you got to break the cycle. She just want to keep the mess going, honey. Misha, explain to a man like me why y'all say that Stacy and Flower Girl are products of colorism, but y'all don't put Ida in that light skinned privilege. Colorism affects her too, right? I feel like it's Ida's attitude. Ida didn't come in like, "Ooh, look at me, honey. I know this is what it is. I know this is what everybody looks at. I know this is what everybody want." Ida didn't come in like that. She barely could stand up straight. Okay, she fell down on the way in. Ida, Ida was a caricature, honey. She was just as crazy. She really need her own show because I feel like if we, this is the thing, I feel like they cut Ida too soon. She was actually good TV. I feel like if they would have kept Ida, she would have gave us a little bit of Denise tease like we had last season because Denise was a mess. I feel like they should have kept her, but it's her attitude. I don't know so much about I'm not gonna say speak too much on the colorism part of it or the light skin privilege. I just feel like Ida's attitude was more inviting than Chrysanthemum and Stacy's. And it didn't help that they linked up together and became one brain, honey. Pinky and the brain got themselves eliminated. Joelle slept with Vern and hit her with that pillow talk, but switched it up because she checked him for his duplicity, and now she's too clingy. Boy, gone. You think so, Chris? Allegedly. Honey, Chris don't mean it, honey. She said allegedly. Ida wasn't arrogant. She was just very talkative. Yes, Sue. She just talked a mile a minute. That's all. Honey, I can relate. Child, I be having to reel myself in. Do y'all think parents are more affectionate now? I do. You don't think so, Ebony Knowledge? I think that oh you well, I don't know. It just depends, honey. I think we all at any era of life, 70s, 60s, 40s, or 50s, child, it could be a parent that's not affectionate. But it's got to be a way that you change that. And that's why I'm just always hugging up on my baby, making sure I give him his kisses. Because it feels good to know that your parent loves you, even though they don't say it, you know, you still want to know some kind of way. I'm glad you be peeping what I see. What broke but bougie say, honey? She be peeping it all, child. I agree their attitude was a product of colorism. Ida said that production told her to interrupt people's conversation. She sure did say that. I saw an interview that she did, and she did say that production. See, I told y'all, honey, production be telling them people to do all kind of stuff, and because they definitely told me you need to fight with your husband. So, yeah, I think he cheating on you. I'm like, what? Not he cheating on me, girl. Please. I think our generation is more willing to break the cycle of trauma. I think so too, Jess. I definitely do think so. Yes, Pinky and the Brain, fire sign. I don't know which one is the brain, honey, but I'm just saying. I think us new school parents are more so talkers. We're fighting them generational curses tooth and nail, child. I'm proud of us. Me too, Kenya. I think so too. Because you know what? Sometimes if I get mad at my son and he's like, "You're so mean," or "You're not listening to me," child, let me have said that to my mama, honey. She would have slapped my mouth inside out. Okay. My esophagus would be on the outside. Y'all talking about, "Hey, girl, hey," honey, wouldn't be no throat. Okay. But when my son tells me stuff like that, I'm like, okay, so what do you think mommy should have done? I just try to listen to him because I was watching this thing on YouTube how YouTube be taking you down tunnels, child. You be ending up on stuff you didn't even think you wanted to see. And it was talking about how kids feel like they don't have a voice. And it was just saying, you need to go ahead and talk to your kids because sometimes they'll start shutting down if they feel like they're not being heard or they'll start to feel invisible. And I thought about that because sometimes I'd be shutting him down like, because I said so. Don't do that because I said so. But then I started thinking, I said, you know what? Would I want somebody just telling me to do something because I said so? So I actually try to talk to him. And yes, I do apologize too. So you're right, Jennifer. Parents today apologize too, honey, because I ain't never going to get no apology. You hear me? Thank you, Jessica, for the super chat. I don't even watch this show, but I love you. Jessica, you ain't missing much. It's actually pretty good in seasons past. This one, not so much. But I mean, hopefully, I think next episode is really gonna get good. My baby boomer mom was super affectionate, but my dad showed his love through the cash and paying all our bills. He shows more affection since he has grandkids now. That's usually how it works too, because my mom is very affectionate with my son. She kisses him all the time, always tells him she loves him. She is always all over my baby. We definitely didn't have a voice back in the day. Seen, not heard. Okay. Sit down somewhere. Don't say nothing because I said so. And at first I was like, that's the way I'm gonna be. I'll make sure I let him child. My son be like, girl, gone. My son ain't listening to that. I want to see Liz check David next episode. Me too. I can't wait to see how it's gonna go. And especially when he stood up and I think he asked her to leave or she asked him to leave. And she was like, no, you're not listening to me. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, honey. Child, I can't wait. But because I said so, it's very necessary for your children. Your authority is enough of a reason. You don't always have to have time to explain. Oh, child, listen, lovely Pete. Don't think I'm just looking at him saying, well, what would you like, dear? I'm like, boy, if you're not going to sit down, I said so. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. But sometimes when I feel like I'm being unreasonable, I will say, okay, so you express to me what you're trying to say because I can see him getting just like so upset, and it makes you feel, I just imagine this because of course when we were in the quarantine, it was nonstop. You couldn't go anywhere at all because you were afraid of the outside, honey, like Bird Box. Okay, and I remember constantly saying, no, put that down. Stop. Don't do that. And one night he went to sleep and I was just sitting on the couch and I was thinking, how does a kid feel to hear no and stop and don't do that all day long? Like, how would you feel if somebody said something that was perceived as negative to you for an entire day? And so I stopped doing that. So now when he does something, I say, did you think that made sense? Or why are we doing this? I just try to ask it in a different way because I don't want him to always feel like somebody is just constantly yelling at him all day long. Child, I'll be like, ooh, honey, I can't wait till I get older so I can get up out of here. AJ is all beard. That's it. You are right, KB. Nothing but beard. Because I was looking at his eyes and I was thinking, if we took that beard away and we just had those eyes, honey, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. They said Kyra don't let stuff go. That's the lawyer in her. It sure is. I wonder if she's a Virgo, honey, because we don't let nothing go. We explain so that children understands. It builds thought processes. It does, goody. I just had a conversation with my son about integrity. Child, because he did something. I said, you think that's integrity? No. I'm like, okay, well, don't do it again, honey. I hate to whoop you now, honey. I'm late. Did y'all talk about Joel yet? Yes, Amy, we did talk about Joel, honey, but we will revisit just for you. Okay, so what did y'all think about the fact that when Joel got into eliminations or deliberations or whatever Asians that they got into at the gentleman's lounge? What did y'all think about the fact that he said Kyra and didn't even blink or think? That told me a lot. Because I was like, you know what? The fact that you can just throw out this woman's name and not think a second thought about how Vernisha might feel about it, honey, that says a lot about you. And then for you to say that you're looking for a mother for your kids, are you going to throw away a relationship with a woman that's good for you if you don't like something that she's doing and now she's already intertwined in your kid's life? And somebody said that his wife was already divorced from him and had passed away while they were divorced. And he had two ex-wives. I was like, oh, honey, I didn't know all of that. Sure, I did not know that. Joel disappointed me. Me too. I'm like, what are you saying? AO said that was shocking. That shocked the mess out of me. And it really did make me think too at the same time, he just saying anything. That's exactly what I immediately thought when he said her name. I said, Kyra. Okay, dude. Now you just said anything. And then he backdoored and said, well, I just threw something off the top of my head and I didn't really mean it. But what I was thinking is, well, why didn't you say Amber? That's who you went on a date with. But then I thought about it too. And I'm like, you don't even know these women. Child, you probably thought you did say Amber and realized it was Kyra when you looked at Jason. Child, I don't know what's going on. It's just a whole mess. So is he the type to go cheat after listen, sip and socialite? You speaking your speech. Is he the type? Chopin and got mad and been like, we were on a break. No, we were not on a break. You said you were going to get gas and you were gone for 3 days. Boy, we weren't on a break. I don't know her Instagram, Lovely P. I don't know it. I wish I did. None of these men are trustworthy. None of them, except KG. I give KG a hard time because he likes to go free and be on the grass and whatnot, honey, and I pay for a date or whatever he doing. But at the same time, I do feel like he is actually genuinely a good guy. He's somebody that I would actually like to be friends with. Now, I wouldn't date him, but I would be friends with him because he does seem like a good guy. I think Amber actually likes KG a lot. Did y'all see Jason almost choke when Joel said Kyra? I almost died. Oh, he almost lost it. Child, he almost lost his mind. And then I think David was sitting there thinking the whole time, who am I going to say? Because I don't want to say Liz because she made me mad. Because I guess it dawned on him really when he saw Jason sitting across the room because the shady producers made sure they put Jason in eye shot of David. And I'm just like, not they sitting right in, an eye shot of each other. They could have set them on the side of each other so he wouldn't have been paying them no attention. And they always sit Ron at the end because he ain't saying nothing but talking about chrysanthemum. And when he said, I guess I'm gonna have to be with my brothers and say Kyra. I'm like, what? Child, we all on Joel, but David is really the shocker. I'm like, why would you say Kyra of all people? That don't make no sense. I have a question for all the single mothers who want a leader slash alpha male like Vernisha. Would you allow your man slash leader to whoop or discipline your children? I'm gonna have to go with a no. Okay. Because you talking to them or whatever is fine, but now, honey, and the reason why I say that is because there's been too many. I'm not saying that this is everybody, but there have been too many cases of these men coming into a situation with a woman, and just like that sweet little girl from Houston, Malia, who have been a victim of abuse or death, or, at the hands of somebody who's not their child, who's not their father. So no, no, sir, honey, I will do that. I'm good on that. uh-uh. Look, honey said nope. Lovely P said nope, nope on a rope. Juan Love said it's a no for me, dog. Valerie said no, hands off. Amy said no. Honey, Amy J said no. We're not gonna be doing it. Mo mom said no. No, we're not gonna do no. We good on that. I've had my good eye on. Little baby, you be acting up on that damn David. I said he was some nasty under that church boy persona. You know what? I didn't pick up on it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give David a chance. Child, he fooled me, and it's hard to fool me. Child, I said, okay, David got me. Child, we have 7 more minutes on this live. Look, I just love y'all so much. I turned my 1 hour live into 2 hours, knowing I feel like crap, but we still had a good time together. Honey, I had a good time talking to y'all about Ready to Love and Married at First Sight. I hope that all of you have liked this video. Once we are done, we will still meet up again next Friday because y'all know it's the reunion part 2. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think Jacob and Haley gonna give us a little something, and I can't wait to hear what's going on. And don't forget, we have the first annual Married at First Sight Awards. I will post in my community when we are going to be actually doing our award ceremony. Okay, so make sure y'all put y'all good gowns on, honey, and your good wig and your good lashes, and get you a good drink and or Coca-Cola, and meet me for the first Married at Sight Awards. Okay. Make sure y'all like the video. Okay, goody. We're raising children, not slaves. Oh, no, that's right, honey. Thanks for liking the video. Thank you for telling them, Valerie. Every time I see Broke but Bougie, every time I see her name, I just want to sing that Migos song, Bad and Bougie. Because y'all know I always got a soundtrack playing. Her daughters are adorable, though. That man was a catch in no way. Who we talking about? David's eyes gave him away as being shifty. I cannot. I cannot with y'all, honey. Them eyes giving a lot away, okay? And Shifty is one of them. Yeah, the producers probably told Joel to say his wife passed instead of his ex-wife to add a sense of sympathy in ratings. And I believe it, Jacqueline, because definitely they mold how they want each and every person to be. It's like a formula. Every person on the show is a character. That's why sometimes on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I would be like, listen, y'all, Kenya is a character. They told her to be this way. Part of it is Kenya. But part of it is, look, either do this or don't get your check, honey. Absolutely not. Now, teaching right from wrong is one thing. Physical discipline on my child is a very strong hell TF no. I know that's right. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, I'm about to go. Paying my dues before I leave. Be blessed, family. Night, night, so pretty. Night, night. We all about to go in 4 minutes, honey. Hey, Tamika. Misha, do you watch Jocelyn's Cabaret? Man, I know that's probably too much for you to review, but though I'll be laughing so hard. You know what? No, I haven't seen one episode. I heard that it's good, but I haven't seen it. And I do see other people reviewing it, but I'm like, I don't know if that's in my wheelhouse right now. I'm trying to get all these other shows out. And I think, oh, this is another thing. Before we go, I don't know if you watch Black Ink or if you don't, but I was thinking about discontinuing my reviews because I just can't get behind Caesar mistreating his daughter and whatnot, honey. And so I don't feel like supporting him like that. So if you're okay with me ending my Black Ink crew reviews, please post like something in the chat. Let me see. Just post a B in the chat if you're okay with me discontinuing those reviews, honey, because I cannot be bothered with him, okay? Because you let this lady sit up here and mistreat your daughter, and now you beating her or whatever y'all doing, honey. And I believe the mama and I believe the daughter. So therefore and thus and such, you ain't getting no more of my support. I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So y'all with me, Amy, Ao, Samuela, Shonda. We don't want Black ink. Thank you. Okay. I'm okay with whatever you decide to do. Thank you, Laisha. Jessica, Keisha. Okay, I see enough bees, honey, for us to move forward. Okay, y'all, honey. I will make sure that I did because I just can't do that. Like, I mean, you losing your mind. And now you're lying and having photo shoots and sitting up here acting. And I'm just trying to figure out why you always the victim. Somebody betray you every single season. I'm confused. Child, boy, gone, honey. Caesar has gotten so corny. OMG, he will not be missed at all. Just ignorant. Thank you for the super sticker, Sunshine and Flowers. You so sweet. Thank you. Caesar been a trash person since the beginning of the show. He sure has been. That's when his lips were real crusty. That's before they put them teeth in and everything else, child. I'm like, Caesar, boy, you need to get yourself together. And the way they turned on Kitty. Yep. Mm-hmm, Amy. You are so right about that. They did her so wrong. Knowing she had just lost her mom and all that stuff she was going through. They are just a mess. He been losing his mind for a while. He really has. And now he got that old fake sky over there with him, honey. No, I'm good. Child, I'm so happy y'all support me. Either way, we will fill that slot with something else because, Run the World is out. I'm not sure if anybody has seen it. I did watch the first episode. I'm trying to get around to reviewing it. I think it's gonna be a really good series. The Shy is coming back. The first episode was already out. I watched it, but haven't reviewed it yet. What else? Then 90 Day Fiance is coming back in June, and then you got Married at First Sight coming back in July. Honey, I ain't got no time to be hanging out with Black Ink. We're good on that. I hope you do Black Ink Cruise Shy too. I mean, though, yeah, I like that one, but it seems like the formula is not as good now that they split the shops up and Charmaine is over here and Ryan is over here. I don't know. Yeah, Jocelyn, that's what I was just saying. I watched Run the World and I think it's going to be good. So I'm going to do my review on that one as well. And see what I was doing and see. Plus, I added different housewives. I added Beverly Hills Housewives, and I also added um the Real Housewives of New York. So if y'all watch any of those and y'all let me know, yes, do 90 Day and Put a Ring on. Oh, I can't wait for Put a Ring on. I wish I would have been reviewing back then when the first season of Put a Ring on it came out because that season was really good. Oh, and that's coming back this month. I love sisters. Oh, honey, I'm gonna be working overtime, y'all. So now y'all better turn y'all notifications on and don't be acting like y'all don't see it when I when I upload these videos. Y'all be like, oh, Misha just uploading a video every 2 seconds, child. Does she do anything other than watch TV? Miss Black Love is Blind is coming back too. Okay, child, I gotta take a nap, honey. I ain't feeling good, honey. All these shows coming out, and I got to sit up and watch and come. But I would not want to do anything other than what I'm doing right now. I love all of y'all for joining me for on this live. And I got to go so I can go lay down, honey, and drink me some ginger ale. I'm not feeling too well. I will talk to y'all on the flip side. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Married to Medicine review. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace. Night, night, y'all.